Hi creatives, I am Dima and you're welcome to another interesting sewing tutorial. On today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you how to cut and sew this lovely ruched dress with a basque waistline. You can see how beautiful it's looking on me. Mine is the one at the middle while the two side pictures is the inspiration. If this sounds like what you'd be interested in knowing how I did it, then you have to stick around till the end and see through the whole process of making this lovely dress. If you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to do so. Here on the channel, I share lots of cutting and sewing tutorial videos that you will definitely be learning from. Let's get right into this video. So I will start this video with pattern making, yes, because this is a pattern making tutorial, and of course I cut the dress, while in my next tutorial I'll be joining the whole dress together. So to make this, I started by drawing a line at the beginning of the paper, just as you can see me do. And what I took here is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 for the basic neckline. So I had to draw it out. And then the next is to go ahead and mark your shoulder measurements divided by 2. You just go ahead and rule a vertical line, just as you can see me do. So after that, you drop here by 1 inch and connect to the neckline. So the next thing is to go ahead and draw the bust measurement divided by 4. So when you draw it, you go ahead and mark it as at least 2 points, and then use your ruler and draw a vertical line like this. So what I'm trying to make is a basic pattern. I dropped here by 5 and had to go in by 3/4. So I'm using this to draw my armhole measurement divided by 2. So that is what I imputed there, and I'm using my curved rule to just draw out the armhole. So after that, the next thing is to go ahead and mark your half length for the front. Mine is 17.5, and that is what I marked there, and I had to draw across just like this. So after that is bust to bust measurement divided by 2. You mark ½ inch on both sides, get your bust level, which is at shoulder and neck to bust point. Then ensure it's at the bust to bust, and then go ahead and draw by 1 inch. Ensure it's at bust to bust again, and then connect your dart to this 1 inch drop. Now my bust to bust is 7 inches, so what I used here is 3.5 because this is on fold. All right, so after that you have to mark your dart and complete the dart. So I completed this dart at level 6 downwards from the waistline. That is what I used. So after this, I'll go ahead and drop it 1/4 and mark the hip measurements. Do the same for yours, and go ahead and mark your hip measurement divided by 4. And then what I have here is waist measurement plus that intake of 1 inch. Okay, so I connected this upwards just as you can see me do, and I'll go ahead and connect to the hip line as well. Please, whatever your hip measurement is, add 2 or 3 inches to it, and that is what you'll be using for this pattern making. Note this: if your hip measurement is 40, ensure to use 42 or even 43. This way your cloth will not be on the body, because I noticed that after making mine was on the body because I used my exact hip measurement. Please use your hip measurement divided, no, your hip measurement plus 3 inches or 2 inches. Okay, so after that, you can see what I did right here. I had to curve out my basque. So I curved this basque because I dropped by about 12 inches on that center front and connected from the waistline to that 12 inches. Okay, 12 inches downwards from waistline on that front center front. That is what I dropped, and I curved my basque as you can see right here. So after that, I had to drop the neckline little and also go in here a bit. So I connected those 2 points like this because I don't want the neckline to be right on my neck. So if you want yours to be sleeveless, you can go ahead and measure 1.5 from here, just as in the pinned post. If that is what you want, go ahead and connect these to your armhole, okay, just as you can see me do. So here will gape, so you're going to tighten it. Now if you tighten it, you're going to draw a line from the armhole and connect to the bust point, just as you will see me do right here. I'm just using dotted lines because that is not what I want to do. I want mine to have a regular sleeve, like to be a basic sleeve dress, just as you saw at the beginning of this video. So here I took 1 inch, just as you would do for regular princess dart bustier. So you're going to take it in and transfer it to the side bust dart. That is what I'm trying to explain here. Okay, you close it up and cut open the side bust dart and transfer this dart to the side bust. So the side bust will open more if this is what you want to do. If not, this armhole will gape. Yeah, it will gape. So ensure to do this and transfer the dart to the side bust. But since it's not what I want to do, I have to just explain that so that you will understand. Okay, so that your dress will come out perfect in case you want to do the sleeveless version of it. So I just had to go ahead and clean up all of that because I'm not going to make use of it. So right here I just measured the waist to the end of the paper, and yeah, it didn't give me the exact length I wanted, so I had to go ahead and cut out this and join it because this is definitely a long dress, as you can see at the beginning. So I had to tape it together just as you can see right here, and I will go ahead and continue with my pattern drafting. So the next thing to do is to measure from waistline downwards to 18 inches. So after measuring it, you go ahead and draw your line like this. So after drawing your line like this, you will measure your hip and go ahead and remove 1.5 inches from what you got on the hip line, right? And then connect like this. Please 1.5, or you can even do 1 inch so that it will not hold your leg. Note that the hip measurement, you will add 3 inches to your regular hip measurement, and that is the measurement you're going to use for this pattern drafting. I had to take this measurement straight up to where the length of the skirt is. Please use hip measurement plus 3. Whatever it gives you, that is what you divide by 4 and impute as your hip measurement, please, so that the hip side will be a bit away from the body. Okay, that's the idea. Every other thing is the same. Use your waist the same. Every other thing is the same apart from the hip measurements. Okay, so right here you can see what I have. I've taken it to the length I desire. I'll just go ahead and cut this out, right? So you can see the pattern. I'm not doing bust tightening, under bust tightening and all of that. I'm using regular to that series to make this dress. So you can see the skirt part, and this is the upper part. Just as you can see, I will just use a basic sleeve right there. So after doing this, you can see what I have, and I will go ahead and draft the back pattern. So right here, I'll just draw a line as a starting point. Please don't mind my voice. I have been having catarrh for some time now. Yes, so you drop here by 1 inch and then go ahead and do, that is what I did here, is 3 1/4 by 1 inch, right? So you do your shoulder measurement divided by 2 and mark and draw your vertical line just as you can see me do right here. So drop here by 1 inch and connect to the neckline just as we did for the front, right? So you go ahead and mark your bust measurement divided by 4, and whatever it gives you is what you're going to mark at least on 2 points and connect with a vertical line like this. So here is the back half length. Whatever your back half length is, go ahead and impute it here. So what I have as my back half length is 16, and that is what I did there. So go in here by 3/4 or 1 inch or ½ inch. Just do as you please depending on the curve of the back of your clients. Here I dropped by 5 and went in by half, and I'll go ahead and impute my armhole measurement divided by 2. Armhole is around the upper part of the arm, where the arm joins to the torso, to the upper body, right? Measure round and add 2 inches, and that is your armhole measurement. So what I measured here is waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch dart intake. That is what I imputed on that waistline, right? So I took this measurement from the back tightening. I hope this makes sense. So after this, I had to come in here by 3/4 and then I'll connect this to the basic neck. So I just dropped the neck a bit by 1 inch here and connected. So I, at this stage, I've not decided what to do with the back, but I later dropped it. You can see that at the beginning of this video, it's a V at the back. So that is what I took finally as a bag that is dropped like a V, a slightly deep V. So what I'm doing here is to take exactly the basque I have for the front and the back. So feel free to take any shape you want, but I just wanted the front and the back to have the same shape, and that is what I did. If you don't want yours to have the same shape, go ahead and take any shape that you please. It's still the same method. Okay, so I had to go ahead and cut all of this out, and this is what I have for the back. So right now you can see my front and then the back pattern. So I had to go ahead and continue with the skirt pattern, that is the lower part of this dress. So you can see what I have for the front. I will go ahead and cut out the same for the back. So I had to trace this part of the front first, and then I'll cut out the paper. Okay, you see me cut out this part of the paper here. When I cut out this pattern, I had to tape it down here so that I'll get the exact length I needed for the skirt. Okay, so I had to place the front again like so, and I pinned it down. I'll go ahead and trace this front on the back because it's the same thing. So just go ahead and cut it out, and this is what I have. So I had to unpin, and yes, this is the result after I did all of that. You can see what the knee line tightening, you know, that's what is causing that space between the two patterns, right? So I will go ahead and start drawing the slash lines. So I had to go ahead and draw the first one like this. I took specific measurements at first and drew it, and this was what I got. And after that, I had to draw another one here. At first I tried to replicate exactly what was on the opposite side, but then it wasn't giving me what I wanted, so I had to go ahead and just draw this one independently, right? So I was first using this markings as a guide, and at a point I didn't follow exactly the markings, right? So but I now preferred the second slash line that I drew to the first one, so I decided to use the second one. So all I did was to place it on top of the first one like this and use it to cut it out. You can use specific measurements if you want. So you can see what I have here. I just had to go ahead and number the pattern so that it won't be mixed up. So I cut out the first one, opened it up like this, and I'll go ahead and stick it down with the transparent tape like this. So this is one, and then I had to go ahead and do the next one. I'll cut out the next one. I had to take it and do like 4 steps of it so that you understand, and I'll do the rest off camera, right? So I cut out the second one, and then I'll keep it together like this and tape it down as well. So this is what you're going to do for all of the coat. You can join some 2 lines together, like you can join 3 and 4 together and cut out. It will still give the same effect, right? So this is what I have, and I had to tape this third one down as well. So I'll go ahead and cut out the fourth one. You can see how I'm taping it down. What I'm taping down is actually the side. I hope you understand, not the basque. The basque is the part that is closer to you in this video, like, right? And the side is the one closer to me as is appearing in this video. So, and that is where I am taping down. So I'm taping down the side. That is what I'm doing. So after doing that, you can see what I have. You can see that I joined some, you know, slash lines together. Yeah, like this one. So I joined them together and just, I didn't strip it complete like this. Okay, it will still give a beautiful effect. So I had to pack it up and keep it aside. I'm not worried about mixing it up because it has numbers on it. So this is what I have for the lower part, and I'll go ahead and keep it side by side like this and stick down. Please use hip measurement plus 3 before you divide by 4. I know why I'm stressing this, so that you don't get a cloth that is like tight around the knee line or around the hip line. Yes, so that you have all the space and all the beauty of this dress. Mine is not free on the body because I added just 1 inch, but when you add like 3 inches, you are fine, trust me. So this is what I have at the end of the day for the lower part of this dress. So this is what I have. You just have to go ahead and place your pattern on it. So what I did was to place it on fold. Of course, I placed it on fold, not lengthwise, like how the length of by 60 of a fabric comes. No, this is 2.5 yards I used for this lower part, and I used 1 yard for the upper parts. I have to say this. I used 2.5 of this designed crepe fabric for the lower parts, and I used 1 yard of crepe for the upper part. But the crepe for the upper is slightly lighter than the one for the lower, but it doesn't really matter. But trust me, if you use lycra for this dress, it's going to come out so lovely, trust me. So this is crepe and it still came out nice, but when you use something like lycra, it's going to be splendid. So this is how I pinned it down, and you can see that it's on fold. The part that is on fold is the center front, just as you can see. So I had to, place it really nicely and then go ahead and start spacing out all of this. So when you are spacing out, try to align that middle line. As you are spreading, try to align the middle line. So that is what to do. You have to ensure that it's a specific distance from this. So that was what I did. I first gave 1.5 inches distance, and at some points I wasn't really eager to take these measurements. I just had to spread it the way I feel is nice, but will see what I will do in this video. So when I spread it, I noticed that if I spread it 1.5, is going to be joining at this basque area, at this basque area of the back or the front. So I had to just go ahead and spread it more like 2.5 inches, 2 inches. That's what I kept on doing till I was done with all of the spread. Some of them is 2.5, some 2 inches, some even 3. Yeah, just as you can see, I just placed it and ensured they were not jamming together. So this is what you're going to do, and yes, it's going to give you a very perfect pattern. It's going to give you a very perfect pattern. Okay, just ensure to add 2.5 to 3 inches to your hip measurement for your basic pattern before all of this alteration, and you're going to get a perfect result. So what I'm showing you here is exactly what I did to get the results you can see. So please, if you want a pleat or gather that is fuller than mine, go ahead and use 3 yards, because what I used is 2.5 yards. Yes, you can go ahead and make your lower fabric, that's this designed fabric, to be 3 yards. Yes, so that way you have enough. So as I said, you don't spread this along the length, or it won't even be enough. You see that is not enough, so I spread it along the 2.5 yards. Yes, that is how I folded it and spread, so it gave me perfectly what I wanted. So this is what I have. I had to just go ahead and cut it out. So you can see how I am cutting it out, following the lines. I'm cutting it out. So this is what I have. So my fine was lifting that part, but you can see what I have. I took my time to show all of this area. So here I added my zipper allowance. You know that this dress has a zipper at the back, so when you get to this stage, you have to add your zipper allowance, not the regular allowance of like 1 inch. It's about 1.5 inches. So you can see that center front, that I moved the pattern away at this level by about 1/2 inch. You can see that center front on that lowest pattern, okay, like the side that is not cut into pieces. Okay, I gave 1/2 inch from the center front and placed that very pattern, just as you can see here. So this is what I have. Aside what I'm saying, please pay attention to what I'm doing. So this is the crepe. I used the black crepe and it's in 1 yard. So I had to go ahead and fold it. I'm just marking the back because after cutting you won't even know where the back is. So that is what I just marked there and had to go ahead and place my pattern appropriately. So after placing it, I pinned it down and I had to go ahead and cut out as well. So you can see the darts. You will see here how I managed to cut out the darts. So here I've cut out the front pattern. I had to go ahead and put my notches for the side seam allowance. So feel free to put any other notch. So what I'm putting here is the notch for the side bust dart. So after putting the side bust dart notch, I had to use my awl and punch there. So this is like 1 inch to where the dart ends. I had to punch it to touch the fabric. So you can see it's 1 inch away from the dart apex, like the end of the dart, the peak of the dart. So I can see the owl, this thing mark from there. So after that, I had to place that aside and go ahead and cut out. Please feel free to mark your darts the way you are comfortable with. I usually use my awl to mark my darts, but I mark it away from the apex of the dart so that when I stitch the fabric, the mark of the owl will be inside the dart. You're not even going to see it on the fabric. Okay, so right here I had to go ahead and notch the seam allowance. You can see the zipper allowance here, so I'll go ahead and notch it as well. So this is what we have for the back pattern, and yeah. So after doing this, I just had to go ahead and put all of them together and cut the lining. Yes, so that is why I said this video is a bit long and I won't be showing in this video the whole process of putting this together. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give me a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. Yes, let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll be very happy to respond to your questions. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell to be the first to know each time I upload my lovely videos. There is always a new thing to learn from my videos. Trust me. I appreciate you all for always stopping by to watch my videos, and thank you for watching my video today. I love you all, and of course I will see you in my next video. I love you all. Bye.